what's up, hello, my name is Emma and today I am giving you guys my January wrap up. This January I also participated in the Winter Buy New Bibliothon of 2017, so if you would like to see my videos and rating updates and just everything I did that week, I will link my playlist below and you can catch up on that. So this wrap up does encompass my Buy New Bibliothon wrap up as well, but there were a few other books I read in January that weren't a part of the readathon that I'm excited to share with you guys. But I read 8 books in the beginning of January and I started off this year really well, so I can't wait to tell you what I thought of all these books. The first of which being Shiny Broken Pieces by Sonia Sharapotra as well as Danielle Clayton. This is the second book in the Tiny Pretty Things series. I believe it's only a duology because this definitely feels like it concluded the series. I ended up giving Shiny Broken Pieces 4 out of 5 stars. I dropped a half-star rating from my first book because I did like the first book better. The only thing I don't like about these books is that they are so filled with drama. I mentioned that in my December wrap-up when I read Tiny Pretty Things, the first book, but there's even more drama in the second book, so I had to drop a half star for that reason, but otherwise these books are fantastic. They just deal with a lot of important issues. We have 3 main characters, one being white, one being black, and one being Korean American. Our black main character deals with chronic illness, and the Korean American character deals with an eating disorder. There's even one really great line at the beginning of the sequel that I just absolutely love that addressed the sexism in the dance world against women, and I just thought it was fantastic. So there's so many great parts of this book. There's just a lot of drama. So if you like drama and all the other things I mentioned, this might be the perfect book series for you. But otherwise, I really enjoyed these books and I'm so happy I gave them a chance. The first book I read for the Buy New Bibliothon was Stalking Jack the Ripper by Carrie Maniscalco, and this was the challenge for Read Our Group book, which every single round from the Buy New Bibliothon, we pick one group to read together as a readathon, and at the end of the week, we have a live show discussing it together. So if you've read Stalking Jack the Ripper and would like to hear some of the host's thoughts, I will leave a link to that live stream in the description of this video. I ended up giving Stalking Jack the Ripper 3.5 out of 5 stars. There were things that this book did really well. I really like how there was such an influence of feminism in a book set in the 1800s and it was executed so wonderfully. I also love the fact that it focuses on Jack the Ripper, serial killers, my kind of thing. There was a lot to do with crime investigation and even a bit of deductive reasoning or profiling, and there was a lot of anatomy and like forensic science in it, which I just absolutely loved. The thing I did not like about this book, which is the reason I gave it 3.5 out of 5 stars, is I feel there wasn't enough happening in it. We had really strong scenes that had to do with the crime investigation, but for the majority of the book, I felt like it was just filler dialogue and there wasn't a ton going on. I just really needed more exciting events to propel the story, and I'm very hopeful that that will be incorporated in the second book, Hunting Prince Dracula, which I am totally reading. One thing that bothers me on the publisher's part is the main character is apparently half Indian, and you wouldn't know it from the cover model. What the fuck, James Patterson? Either way, I did really enjoy this book. I am definitely even more excited for the sequel, and I think it was definitely worth the read. The next book I read for the Buy New Bibliothon was Heartless by Marissa Meyer, and I used this to complete the challenges for Read a Retelling as well as read a 2016 release. I actually listened to the audiobook of Heartless, and if you watch my vlog from the Marissa Meyer Heartless signing, which I will leave in the description of this video as well, I said I would listen to the audiobook because there was a section in that vlog where we got to actually listen to the audiobook narrator read from the book, and it was just so fantastic. I was blown away at how talented the voice actress is, so I had to listen to it on audiobook and it did not disappoint. I gave Heartless a 5 out of 5 stars, absolutely. I loved this book so much, and if you're interested in either a new audiobook or if you really do want to experience Heartless, 10 out of 10, recommend the audiobook, best audiobook I have ever listened to. The thing about Heartless is it's not the most deep, complex, best book in the entire world. In my opinion, it's what I like to call one of those trashy YA novels that you love because it is so just entertaining and the romance is great and it's full of all the feels you get when you first discover YA. That's what Heartless is, and I still think that it deserves a 5-star rating for those reasons. It was just so much fun, and it was a really big pick-me-up in my opinion. It just propelled me to keep reading throughout the week, and I feel like this is a great book that'll get you out of a reading slump. But overall, Heartless was just fucking fantastic. This is actually our group book for my book club I help host with the host of the Bibliothon. Totally separate things, but we will have a live show for Heartless coming very soon, so I'll be announcing that on Twitter and whatnot, but I'm really excited to discuss Heartless with you guys. The next book I read for the Buy New Bibliothon was Simon vs. the Homo Sapiens Agenda by Becky Albertalli, and this completed the challenge for Read a Diverse Book as well as Read a Book You Are Excited excited for but never picked up. Michael Book Line gave me this book in I think 2015, like early 2015. I only just got to it in 2017, so it was a long time coming, but I absolutely loved it. Another 5 out of 5 star book. This is a super fast, funny, sweet, fluffy read, and it was everything I could have expected and more. I can totally see why this book is at the top of everyone's recommended lists. The LGBT rep in it felt very healthy and natural, and it's the kind of books we need to see concerning gay characters, because there's a lot of sad gay books. We need happy ones, and that's what Simon versus the Homo Sapiens Agenda was. There's a movie coming out, and I couldn't be more excited for it, so now I'm just so glad that I experienced the story and I'll be able to see it visually in I think 2018. Simon versus the Homo Sapiens Agenda was so great, and I would highly recommend it to you guys. The next book I listened to for the Buy No Bibliothon was City of Lost Souls by Cassandra Clare. I had started listening to this book before the Buy No Bibliothon started, and I got halfway through, but as I finished Heartless so early on into the week, I was like, I need another audiobook, and I kind of want to finish City of Lost Souls. So I read half of City of Lost Souls for the Buy No Bibliothon, and that completed the throwback challenge, which I chose to use as read a book from a favorite genre, which is of course urban fantasy. You guys know how much I love City of Lost Souls. I don't think I need to spend too much time on this one. It is definitely my favorite book of all time, and I reread it with the intention of actually determining that, and there's just something about it that makes it feel so special to me. I feel like this is a book where the plot really thickens and gets complex, and we delve more into each of the characters' different stories, because we have like 4 different perspectives all at once, and they're all developed so wonderfully. I just love the Mortal Instruments so much. I'm so happy I decided to reread them because I'm having the absolute best time. I'm actually thinking that when I finish City of Heavenly Fire, which is the audiobook I'm currently listening to, I will listen to Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy and then Lady Midnight in preparation of Lord of Shadows, so I'm just gonna be like, influx of Shadowhunter world until May, and I'm pumped. And the final book I read for the Buy No Bibliothon was Ever the Hunted by Erin Summerall. This completed the challenge Read a Book a Booktuber Recommends to You, and it was sent and recommended to me by Red from Little Red Reader, so of course thank you so much Red for sending it to me. I ended up giving Ever the Hunted 4 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed this book. I feel like it's a strong start to what can be a fantastic series. My only complaint is that I feel it started off a little slow. It was one of those books where I just felt myself losing interest every once in a while, and it wasn't because the book was bad or anything. I just wasn't as grasped by the story as I am for other books. So it took me a little bit to get through, but I really did enjoy all of the characters. The magic system was really interesting and well developed for a first novel, and it also ended off on a great cliffhanger that I am so excited to see where things will go from here. But I will totally be picking up book 2, and I'm really happy I read it this week. So nearing the end of the Buy No Bibliothon, I had finished City of Lost Souls, and I had like 1 day left to listen to an audiobook. So originally I was going to listen to Gemini. I had decided I probably wouldn't have enough time to fully complete Gemini throughout the week, so I was like, I'll listen to half a City of Lost Souls, and if I have time, I'll start listening to Gemini. So I ended up finishing Gemini after the Buy No Bibliothon. Here's Gemini. I forgot to pick it up. I ended up giving Gemini 4 out of 5 stars. I thought it was a really strong sequel to the story of Illuminae, which I loved so much. Let me tell you, this is another audiobook that is just absolutely amazing. Like, if there are 2 audiobooks I can recommend to you guys, like to the end of the eternity, it would be Heartless and the Illuminae and Gemini audiobooks, because wow. It's like a full-fledged production. There are tons of different voice actors, there's music, there's sound effects. It was like unreal. It was like watching a movie without actually watching something. It was really cool. Although the story follows 2 different characters from our main characters of Illuminae, it definitely held the core feeling of the first novel, which I just loved. It was funny and sweet, it was kick-ass and intense, and it was just everything you could possibly want from a sci-fi novel. The only thing I didn't like about it, which is why I gave it 4 out of 5 stars, was because nearing the end of the story, we get some new information about the world and things are introduced that didn't stick as well with me. I just couldn't fully comprehend it, and it could be because I was listening to the audiobook instead of reading it. And as always, if you're not really getting everything that goes into a story, it's not going to be as enjoyable. But overall, I really love Gemini, and I'm so happy I finally decided to continue on with this series. And then the final book I read in the month of January is Not Otherwise Specified by Hannah Moskowitz. This book was so good. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. I'm considering reviewing it, so if you would like a review of this one, let me know. In the meantime, I do have a Goodreads review for this book, and I have Goodreads reviews for quite a few of these books, so if you want me to start leaving Goodreads reviews that I do in the description of my videos for like wrap-ups and whatnot, let me know. The thing I loved most about Not Otherwise Specified, it was the exact book I have been searching for about 2 years now. I've said this before on my channel, and I've said it even more on Twitter. I wanted a book where we had a main character who was in eating disorder recovery and had been for a while. So they had started eating again, they were developing a more healthy relationship with food, but they were still struggling. And I got it. I found it. It was everything I wanted. This is honestly just such a fantastic book. It is at the top of my recommendeds for eating disorder books, especially because I feel it is not as triggering as some others out there. So if you're interested in reading more books about eating disorders where you've been suffering yourself, but there are certain books you're kind of straying away from, I would definitely recommend checking out Not Otherwise Specified. It's an important book that deals with so many topics, not even just eating disorders, but it deals with bisexuality, it deals with a Black main character. It's super, super diverse, and I really think everyone should give it a chance. That is it for my January wrap up. I feel like I had a great reading month for January. I read so many books, I had so much fun in the biannual bibliothon, and I genuinely liked everything I read. I have 2 books I have been working on for a while, for quite some time in January, so I don't know how February is gonna go with my new semester, but I'm holding out and I'm still enjoying those 2 books too, and I'll be talking about them in my February wrap up. Let me know your favorite book that you read in the month of January, because maybe I'll pick it up in February, but that is it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you soon for a new one. Bye!